and welcome back to the Loopy Homestead. Today, we're making some homemade cream of chicken soup to go in the freezer. So for the last several weeks, we've taken you from a chicken coop tour to our chicken processing to chicken stock, and now we're going to use some of that chicken stock to make our cream of chicken soup. We're going to be making it with some pretty basic ingredients. It's just our homemade chicken stock, some butter, some flour, some milk, and whatever spices we want to add, and that's it. So since I'm diabetic and Mom and I both have heart conditions, we try to cook with as little salt as possible. And one of the things, despite having chicken stock every year, that we haven't made a point of doing is to turn that into our own homemade condensed chicken soup. Now, condensed chicken soup is easy enough to make on a nightly basis, but sometimes we just prefer to have things that are a little bit more ready to go when we're making our dinners. Some of you might wonder why we are choosing to freeze instead of can our cream of chicken soup. As far as it goes for home canning, it's not recommended that you can a low-acid food like dairy. Not enough research has been done about it to make sure that things like botulism aren't a concern. Normally, low-acid foods are done in a pressure canner, which we have, but we'd rather not take the risk. Some people are comfortable with that, we just aren't. So condensed chicken soup is fairly easy to make using a roux, which I use a lot for doing different soups around the house and things, but some nights it's just easier to have something I can pull out and have ready as opposed to needing to make it from scratch. That's why frequently we end up buying cream of chicken soup because it's just more convenient. So in this case, freezing it means that in the morning when I get out our meat for dinner, I can just get out a bag of the cream of chicken also, and both can defrost at the same time and be ready for dinner. So the first thing I have to do to get started on making my condensed chicken soup is to strain my liquid from my stock pot into this. I just want to make sure I don't get any bones or chicken skin into my end products.
The broth I am using here is another batch from our Bok Bagok It's Chicken Stock video. We made this one specifically for the purpose of making cream of chicken soup.
So now that I have strained off my chicken broth, I am going to pour what I can into these 4-cup measurers to see how much I have so that I can get my other ingredients prepped. Already I have 8 cups here, and I probably have another 6 to 8 still in this, so I'm going to work in 2 batches. I've got all of my stuff measured out for what I need. Typically I would start my roux with 6 tablespoons butter, 6 tablespoons flour, and let that kind of cook down so you could take the taste of the flour out of it against the butter taste. Then after that I would add in a cup of chicken broth, a cup of milk, a half a teaspoon of garlic salt, and half a teaspoon of pepper to give it a little bit of taste. But in this case, I'm making more, so I have 6 sticks of butter, a whole ton of flour, and my 8 cups of chicken broth. I will measure out my milk when I'm ready for it. I've got my butter melting down. As soon as everything has come to a full melt, still got a few solid pieces in there, I will be slowly adding my flour, creating a roux with it, making sure all the lumps are mixed out. And once I've got that smooth, I'll let it just cook a little bit to make sure a lot of the flavor from just the raw flour has been eliminated. And then I'll start adding my chicken stock.
It is important here that I'm stirring my butter consistently while slowly adding my flour. This is to prevent larger chunks of flour from building up, making it harder to break them down and get them incorporated smoothly.
Okay, so my roux has been cooking now for a bit. It's nice and smooth, so it's ready for me to add the chicken stock. As I do so, I'm going to be stirring the whole time to make sure it blends well as I put it in. So it's really soupy at the moment. I am going to let it cook for a few more minutes while I get my milk ready. Also turned my stove pan up a little bit. I want to get just a slow simmer going on with this. That'll help some of the water evaporate and it'll help it thicken as it cooks. So my pan has been simmering here a little bit. I'm ready to add my milk. And my pan is now very full. So I'm going to continue to stir and allow this to simmer and get my spices ready. Okay, so I have measured out my spices. I am getting ready to add them. And while I'm at it, I'm going to finish measuring out the remainder of my chicken broth.
I should note that our recipe calls for garlic salt, but because of the sodium, I switch it out for garlic powder instead.
Spices added, mixed around. I'm going to let that simmer again for a little bit. And it looks like for the remainder of my broth, at least in this batch, is about 5.5 cups. So my cream of chicken has cooked all the way down. As far as our family is considered, it is a beautiful consistency. And I'm just going to have to wait for it to finish cooling down the rest of the way so I can get it into my food saver bags, get them sealed up, and toss them in the freezer. My cream of chicken is done cooling down. I'm going to bag it in some food saver bags, seal it shut, and we'll freeze it that way. I'm going to try as close as possible to get to my bags to be, I think, 16 ounces, because I think that's about what our family uses per meal. So there we go. here we have it. From just a little bit of cream of chicken we made, we've got 2, 4, 5, 2. We have 10 16-ounce bags of cream of chicken. I'm pretty sure as a family we're gonna go through these quick. So next year, I'll have to probably plan to make some more.
Thanks for joining us back on the Loopy Homestead. If you'd like to stay in the loop, please subscribe to our videos. And if you'd like to help us find more looplings like you, please like and share them. We'll see you next time.
I just covered over with music.